We got ourselves Team Anto4. Actually, no, it's Team Athaman leading the charge here as a corrupted red paladin. We got ourselves Anto4 here as an unholy DK. We got ourselves Tegzi, I'm gonna guess maybe Fire Mage. We got ourselves Warthor as a Demonology Warlock based on that severed head. We got ourselves Arsonist coming out as an Outlaw. Reverse Team Blue. We got ourselves Florstain. We got ourselves Jig. We got ourselves Emerald Blocks as a Pharaoh. We got ourselves Rekir, I think is an unholy. And we got ourselves White Iverson. Oh, and he's got the, oh wait, not the backpack. Well, he does have a backpack, but he doesn't have the backpack. He got the buy to win backpack. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that the Rathian backpack. I've seen some people with the Rathian backpack right now. I should be getting mine in a couple of weeks or so. I have not been doing nearly as many horrific questions, but next week, boys, update, it's going to be horrific questions. You'll be able to get corruption gear, by the way. So you should probably save up all your vessels and do them as soon as the update happens. That will be the perfect time to grind. That's probably the time when I'll be able to start getting the backpacks and all the fun stuff, yeah? Anyway, go to Azeroth versus Iverson. They're looking forward to each other. It's going to be Outlaw versus what I want to say an Assassination rogue. The Assassination generally wins these encounters, but we'll have to wait and see. It looks like both of these guys, or at least one of them is actually, Arson is actually coming out of stealth for a second. In case the rogue wants to come over, I guess they might just have to wait for the eye. What time did the eye spawn? Like minute 30 at the 2-minute mark? Because I think we're going to be here for a while. White Iverson landing that sap onto Arsenal's opening up with a kidney shot immediately. Both of these guys, the bite coming down immediately. It's going to be him at half health. If only there was another bite, that would have been literally game over. White Iverson got all the dots up and running, go to the Arsonist, and it's going to leave him crippled, slowed, hurt. He needs to call his doctors, his lawyers or something after getting run over like that, dude. There's going to be a Blade Flurry up for Arsonist. It's going to be a short, cheap shot by White Iverson, though. It's going to be the art on it. Trying to get some damage back onto White Iverson. Going through a Vanish. I think it went to what looked like maybe Killing Spree. And looks like Arsonist is just going to pay the price. I don't think this man came in with a plan. No parry available. Doesn't trigger anything. Blind. Not out onto Iverson. I don't think he's even got a full stun. That was a bit of a rough opener for our boy Arsonist. He just got taken on for a ride. It's going to be Athaman picked up the eye a little bit early. Does get the opener onto White Iverson. Still getting hit with a kidney shot. A cheap shot into a kidney shot. Full opener by the rogue. Athaman is at least a little bit prepared though. And White Iverson might actually go through a lot of codes. Blind onto Athaman. That procs out his adaptation. White Athaman trying to stay on top of White Iverson. If only he weed and just went towards the room. He actually might have been right on top of him. Shield of Vengeance almost clipping White Iverson. Picking up the eyes. Should be able to see the rogue. Forcing the rogue to come out of stealth. Getting the opener. Twisted appendage happening onto Athaman. Needs to eliminate that thing immediately. And Iverson look at you just dot and rot playstyle with everybody. Twisted appendage are proccing for him. Nazath has blessed White Iverson here with all the gifts. Letting the DAS do a lot of work. Trying to see if he can catch himself a resell through a smoke bomb. Hodge coming down by Athaman. Might be a trick. No, White Iverson doesn't have a trick. Oh! My goodness, the Delirium. I guess this man was taken up by Delirium. What even trinket? I don't even remember. But Athaman just had him in a good position. Smoke Bomb had nothing left, I believe. Maybe a Cloak of Shadows or something. Probably should have pre-cloaked just in case. You never really know. But Athaman got a big old home run with that, man. Jig is up next. Is the Jig up, though? That is the question. Is Athaman going to maintain the ruse? Jig flying up in the air, trying to see if he can pelt Athaman. That's going to go for that invisibility. That's... Wait, what? How did Jig continue doing some damage? I think he'd send a couple of those lances flying, and I guess they just had a little bit longer travel time than I was expecting. Hodger to Jig, throwing down a trinket off of that. Still taking quite a bit of damage, forcing out that blur, and Athaman got him some Shield of Vengeance. That's going to be Jig with quite a lot of defenses. Actually backing away from the big bubble from the Paladin. He doesn't want to deal with that thing whatsoever. His blur is down for the count. He needs to maintain the damage on the Metamorphosis because that's his healing mana going down. Does himself IBM to follow. He's going to get interrupted. Jig, super low in health. Could go down any moment. Needs to get himself a little bit healing. Darkness coming down. Is that going to be enough though? Athaman might actually have to bubble here. He's super low himself. Almost got executed. He did get himself a little bit of a heal. That's going to be... Oh my goodness. How did Jig die just there? I thought he was actually doing just fine. It looked like he got a stun. Maybe some kind of proc from Athaman as the stun went out. That's going to be Florstein next, playing that Survival Hunter, trying to get some value damage onto Athaman. Took quite a bit of damage in the opener. Shortest stun in my life. Athaman does not have adaptation for a little bit, not like he needed one for that stun. Florstein trying to get some damage going, trying to see if he can kite around Athaman, going for them big eagle strategy, dude. That's going to be Athaman just flying and running away with those eagles, just trying to stay away from the Survival Hunter as best as possible. Traps are coming down for survival to set up for a long duel. We are going to be hitting the 5-minute mark very so does get a net onto Ath will allow Florestan to set up all the dots, get a harpoon in there. Athaman could go for a full-blown Hodge if he wants to, if he has a setup. Florestan does have a trinket, so Athaman might have to go and force a lot of those cooldowns out. It's going to run into Freezing Trap, but he's doing pretty good on health right now. He has full health available for the time being. Trying to get himself a bit of a setup here. Florestan trying to maintain his distance as best as possible. Hodge out of Atha does go for a trinket as soon as he sees the wings come out. As soon as he sees the animation, trinket, turtle shell immediately. Did not even want to take any damage. Going to be yet another freezing trap onto Atha. He does have adaptation back up though. So for now, Florestan just needs to kite Athaman around just a little bit. He needs to wait until he can get adaptation out of Athaman, and then might be able to get quite a good value onto him after. Flashlights are coming out for Atha. He sees maintaining his health as possible. Going to be a stun by the pet. No adaptation from the pet, actually. Athaman. Is he playing Relentless? He might. No, he's not, because he's out of adaptation. He had a chicken proc a couple times. Although, I feel like adaptation should proc off of that pet. That's gonna be a pet stun. That's gonna be a trap. Missing. Florestan actually getting next to Athaman. That's actually pretty close right now. I'm not sure if you want to do that, because next Hodge could be your end, especially as you're at super low health. Athaman trying to see if he can disrupt that manning bandage. Freezing trap is gonna stop him. No, Florestan actually used that ability. Not expecting for his trap to actually hold Athaman back for a second. Hodge coming down. Does he have any damage left here? Does he have anything to survive right now? Barely anything left. Does go for feign death for a second. Athaman does hit the pet instead of the hunter for a moment, but I think he's down for the count. One more judgment is all he needs, and that's going to be it. Athaman taking yet another one off Team Blue. Ow, that's going to be 3-man down. The next up is going to be Rekir, looking to wreck Athaman's face. That's going to be Twisted Pinch proc for him. Athaman took it out immediately. This is going to be an Unholy Death that actually the Unholy Death that goes to set up the army way above, trying to see if he can grip Athaman down. The army is going to have a little bit of weird time going around all over the stairs just to catch up to Atha, and he is super far away, taking very minimal damage from them. All the pets are taking a little bit of time for Rekir. He's not able to get the value damage. Look at his pets. They are walking and they're starting to fall apart little by little. That's going to be Abomination. Does hit Athaman with a bike. He has the Shield of Vengeance. Didn't even need Shield of Vengeance before the bike hit. Has adaptation for the next stun and still continuing to just pummel damage into Rekir as his health is just plummeting down so fast. Does get a Lichborn up and running. Might want to go for massive transfusion. Deathpack might be able to run him out of here. Does get Deathpack rolling. Where's that transfusion? You need to transfuse right now. Bob coming out for Athaman. Rekir is able to interrupt Atha on a couple casts, but Rekir's still in a bad situation. Needs to heal, and Athaman is taking advantage of the Bob, making it the immunity. And down goes Rekir. Didn't wreck him at all. But he'll live up to the name. Give him another class. Give him another map. I mean, if only Atha took the full damage of the army, that would be different story. Procs coming out onto Atha. Headstrong. Got himself Gesture, got Trinket. Thorns right after. Athaman just going for the slow onto Procs. Just going for a reset. He took a lot of health pounding in the opener here. And you're just going to have to wait a little bit. Stun onto Atha. He does get himself wings up and running. That's going to be Procs trying to keep him at bay as best as possible. Athaman cannot stop Procs' openers. But Procs can stop Athaman's damage unless there's a Hodge combo with it. This is why Athaman should go for a Hodge every time he goes for wings. He needs to get a Hodge on people, or needs to be right next to him as he popping wings. He needs to get a Hodge to force trinkets, force cooldowns out, and Procs just power shift himself out of the slows. Atha got quite a formidable amount of damage though. He barely tagged Procs, but the damage he had was actually quite substantial. He's just gonna go for eyes, just trying to stay ahead of the curve here, actually making sure to pick up the eyes. Procs has to go for a re-opener onto Atha, keeping away from him, or go for a massive heal. He goes for the first move here. That's going to be adaptation. It's a trinket out of Procs as Atha reverses a stun onto Procs. It's going to be a bite coming out. Athaman Shield of Vengeance does proc at the very end. I think Procs did get tagged by it. Wings are up for Athaman right now. Does Procs get himself wall as well as Thorns. Atha needs to delay the amount of damage he's doing to Procs. Is going to go for a bubble here. Might be able to continue the damage after this. Does he get away from Procs? Does he stay on him? Bubble not going to last long. Needs to make the impact full damage happen right now. Actually, look at random. Doesn't get second turn around, and Proxy might be down for the count. Oh, both of them are super low. Proxy actually bailing out of here. Decided he cannot finish Atherman right now. And Atherman does go for flashlight. He had him so low, but I guess he ran out of energy, out of abilities to continue. The Destiny God Striker just had him in such a good position, but wasn't enough somehow. I guess Ather just been pumping up his own versatility, dude. He's been going into... Oh, he went for Gladiator's Breach to pick up the eye, and right as he picked it up, but Prox does get the big opener onto Ather. Ather does get a hodge on Prox. Does he have enough damage here? Can he wait for Thorns? Is he gonna wait for Thorns? Is he gonna try to minimize the globals he's using? Might be enough here. Trying to go for Gladiator's Breach. It's still gonna be big damage on Prox, and oh my goodness. That bash ended Ather. If only that bash would have adapted something. Or if only that bash would have been adapted. That's gonna be Ather for you there, just in the room with the Tiger, just trying to get him out of stealth. I think it's gonna be lights out for Prox. Immediately getting gripped on, down he goes. Atherman with amazing performance. The only man to take him down is a big old jungle cat named Prox. Oh my goodness, man. That was such a clutch back and forth. And that's what I love seeing, man. That's what I love seeing ultimately. The clutches back and forth. And I cannot believe the Prox almost got Ather. It was so close.